very wonderful thing for me.
Tim Burton's movies cannot be conceived in cultural imaginary without Danny Elfman. Your music is world building. Every opening song, you feel like you are on a journey into this specific world. The syncopation, the ethereal violins, and chords progression make me realize you don't follow the usual epic thematic rhythms, and I love that. Did you find this inspiration from listening to classical music, or in some way this is how those sci-fi and horror movies sounded in your head when you were just a kid?
Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated question because certainly the horror I grew up with had an impact on me, and I was very influenced very young by a composer named Bernard Herrmann, who wrote many scores for science fiction movies that I saw, and as well as Alfred Hitchcock movies, which he was most favorite. But when I was only 12 years old or so, I saw a science fiction movie called The Day the Earth Stood Still, and the music really got to me. And it's the first time in my life I was touched by film music, and I saw his name. And so then every time I would see his name after that, I would go, oh, there's something special. And I became aware that you can give something special to a movie with the music that takes it one notch into a slightly different world. But then I got into classical music very late, and it's hard to say. My influences are so mixed up. When I sat down with Tim to start writing songs for Nightmare Before Christmas, we only had one agreement, that we did not want it to sound like a Broadway musical or even a Disney musical.
Yeah.
We wanted it to sound like something else. So I tried to write all the songs in a style that was both modern but old at the same time. It could have been written in the 90s, but it could have been written in the 1920s or the 1930s. That big influence would be Kurt Weill, the German composer who wrote a Three-Penny Opera. So Sally's Song, for example, very much inspired by the Three-Penny Opera, and that was very much a part of my soul. But I also started out in a musical theatrical troupe doing old jazz, and so Oogie Boogie Song, right from Cab Calloway, because I used to perform Cab Calloway live on stage for 7 years. And that's how I began performing. So when it was time to write the Oogie Boogie Song, I was going to write, I want to write something that Cab Calloway might have sung.
And I love the big band.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so these influences all came back to me. The Cab, old jazz, the Kurt Weill Three-Penny Opera, the monster music, the Bernard Herrmann, all of it was present. But the only thing we knew is cannot sound like a Broadway musical.
I
Yes.
think you're safe.
Yeah.
You said that you traveled to Tokyo, and then you were so impressed about how